Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a book as a controller in TouchDesigner using Torin Blakensmith's Teachable Machines plugin. You really don't need anything. I'm going to use my Mac and iPhone's continuity camera, and we're going to train our models on Google's Teachable Machines. I've linked all of these resources in the bio. First, let's set up the iPhone as our webcam. Make sure your iPhone and Mac are logged in into the same Apple ID with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned on. The Wi-Fi should also be on the same network. If you want more instructions, check the link that I've attached here. So now we'll have to do a couple of things to set up this file. First thing is to train our model. If you already have a model, that's great. But if you don't, go to Teachable Machines with google.com and choose an image project and then a standard image model. But for this setup, I'm training each page of the book as its own class. I'm using a few of the pages that you'll see and I'm naming them accordingly. One really important thing to understand is that each page needs to be visually different for Teachable Machines to be confident on what it's seeing. So one is obviously the sample size, but also the visual differences because it actually records changing pixels. In your Teachable Machines setup, make sure you check these boxes so that you can record your books hands-free. When you're recording samples, don't keep the book perfectly still. Make sure your hands are also in the frame because that's how you will interact with the book. Another pro tip is training the model with multiple backgrounds and lighting so that it can recognize the same page in different settings. For the purpose of this tutorial, I have kept it to one background only. Once you've trained all the pages you want to use as a controller and you have enough samples for each page, I would recommend a double set of 6 seconds. Click train the model and wait for the training to finish. Make sure you don't switch your tabs. Once the training is complete, click export. You can quickly check how your model is doing through this preview option and use the upload model feature to generate a URL. Now within the URL, you'll find there is a particular code. I'm also gonna quickly save my model on my drive, uploading it. Now let's jump right into TouchDesigner. Make sure you have the Teachable Machines plugin component downloaded. You can find the link to download it in the description. Let's start with the video device in, and I'm gonna use my iPhone as my webcam here. Once you set up your continuity camera, you should now see a high quality camera feed coming directly from your iPhone, and you'll be able to select the camera source in TouchDesigner. Next, the Teachable Machines plugin that we just downloaded, I'm going to drag it into my network and make sure to paste the network model code here that we had just now generated. Once you've done that, make sure to press the pulse button. That helps us to download the model and run it. Great, we're at a great stage to check in if you are following all the steps till now. I'm gonna quickly check how the model is working in TouchDesigner. It gives you confidence scores, 1 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. Now let's begin. We're gonna use the second channel in the Teachable Machines store and use a select job. The selector is essentially being able to give us an index of each confident output, which we're going to come back to later, but this is super helpful. Now let's begin. We're going to plan what kind of visuals we want to correspond with each page of this book. So I'm going to start making some visuals. I'm going to use the noise stop to just create some variations. I'm also going to use a movie file in to add some layers. You can make this project even more complex. I've worked with creating animations for each different page which gets triggered. So you can really go crazy in this part. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're sticking to the basics. Now we have one visual corresponding to each page. Now I'm gonna use a switch top and connect it to all our visuals. I'm also gonna composite it with a composite top along with the video device in to create a two-layer video of the book as well as the visuals. You'll see the ratio is a little off, so we're gonna use the transform and fit tops to bring back the video device in back to shape. I'm also using the crop top to create a more snug frame. Now let's jump back into the Teachable Machines docs. Once we do that, we see actually when we flip the pages of each of this book, each page has a confidence score. Once you've added the null, now you can put it in the active state and drag it onto the index of the switch. Now we've got a very simple setup of when the index of the model gets triggered, the corresponding visual of the switch index gets displayed. Now that we have our basic setup ready, let's fine tune this a little. You'll see that this is a little clunky and it is a little bit too jumpy. And how can we control that? I'm gonna use a lag chop between the select and the null chops. And what that'll allow us to do is, in case we are flipping pages too fast, it doesn't glitch up and lets us go into the next page with ease with the visual. This works pretty well. The only things to consider is making sure to train your model with a lot of variation. and use clear, distinct visual pages. And that's kind of it. Like, you've created a basic network of controlling a teachable machines model through the plugin developed by Torin, and you'll be able to now flip this page like I am and get your visuals.